All right, everyone, welcome to my new guide video. So I was recording some footage where I was trying to do a build for Greystone, but while filming this footage, I was paired against a Murdoch in the off lane. Now, personally, when I get paired with someone that is ranged in the off lane, I get excited because I know that it's going to be an easy game for me. But when I've been in other lanes and the people that I'm with are facing a ranged person, they always seem to struggle. So I decided to make this video just kind of explaining some of the stuff that I do to be able to face ranged people in the off lane. So obviously which character you're playing as has a big impact on how you approach this type of situation. However, most of the time when you're playing off lane, you're someone like Greystone or Grux or Richter, or someone that can usually take a hit and that's more tanky. So generally, this what I'm going to go over right now is the best course of action, unless you're playing someone that's more like a glass cannon, like Countess or someone like that. Something to note as well is most of the time when people pick ranged characters in the off lane, they usually try to have aggressive approach to it. What I mean by this is that they will try to get early kills on you by shooting you from a distance, knowing that you are unable to close the gap this early in the game. So while you are going in there trying to get last hit on minions, they're going to be shooting you. Their goal is to get the gold bonus and the experience bonus from getting an early game kill. You can't let them do this. Getting killed early in the game can be detrimental to your game. While you are dead, they are sitting there unimpeded getting those last minion hits, as well as the early experience and gold from getting a kill. Also, just a side note, what I do here is something that you don't want to do. I was overextended and their jungle came out and killed me. I just wanted to point that out because I was seeing blood. I was trying to get an early game kill myself, and that was a big mistake. But anyways, when we first start fighting the minions, you'd notice that I started sidestepping. When you're fighting someone ranged in the off lane like that, you don't want to hold still. They will be sitting there trying to shoot you, and the best thing you can do is start sidestepping back and forth, and making it harder for them to hit you. As stupid as it sounds, a lot of people will just stand there and hold still, or they won't move that much, essentially just sitting there taking the hits and being a sitting duck. Another thing to be considering is who you are facing. So what I mean by this is, for example, I'm facing Murdoch in this situation, and I know he has his right click, which is a shotgun ability, which he just used right there. And what it does is it shoots you and does a bunch of damage, but it also knocks you back. So if I try to get close the distance on him, he'll just use that ability and shoot me back. Anyone who has played Predecessor knows it can be really hard and annoying to try to fight a ranged character when you're melee. They'll either just keep backing up, have a knockback, have a dash, or something that just keeps the distance between you and them, and they just keep shooting you the entire time until you're dead. One of the things that I found really helpful in this situation I was in, I would wait for Murdoch to use that buckshot. It's called buckshot, that ability he uses. But I'd wait for him to use it on my minions, and then I would jump him. And then he wouldn't be able to get away because that was how he would get away from me, is he'd shoot me with that buckshot and it'd push me back, and the distance would be too far for me to do anything. So the last piece of general advice I will give is to stay close to your tower when you're facing someone like this, at least in the beginning. People who are ranged like that, they get away from you really easily, and most of the time if they're really close to their tower, they'll just run into their tower to avoid you. But if you're over by your tower and you force them to come to you, they have a lot further distance to go before they're to safety. And like I said before, their entire gimmick is to keep you at a distance and go back to their base to safety if they need to. If you close the gap too much, they'll run back to their tower and hide so that you're unable to get to them. Keeping you from getting close to them is their entire bread and butter, being in this off lane like this. And the further they have to go to get back to safety, the better it is for you, especially when you're playing Greystone like this, and you can really use his jump to close the gap. Just using all these techniques to close that gap, you can jump really far, making sure that their ability is used up, making sure they have a long ways to go in order to escape you. Also, just a side note I want to add, Murdoch lays down those stupid little mines everywhere. And when you're going around, you want to make sure you're avoiding them, because he tries to have them in such a way that you can't use like my jump. But if you use it wisely, you can go around them and what I'm saying is to avoid them and to be wary of them, to know that they're there. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to bring up is what cards to get. So most ranged characters like Murdoch, Revenant, Drongo, Wraith, they all focus on physical power damage. So if you're facing someone who is ranged like that, that focuses on physical damage, what you want to do is get early physical armor. There's a lot of different items that I could suggest to add physical armor, but it really depends on who you're playing. There's Draconum, Citadel, Frostguard, but it really depends on which character you're playing and what playstyle you're going for. Like some of the armor will add ability haste or magical attack and magical armor, as well as physical attack. It just really depends on what you're going for. Like if you have a magic character, you don't want to get something that adds physical power, obviously. So just look at the cards when you're going in there. You can select physical armor and just choose the one that's best for your play style. So that's pretty much it for facing someone in the off lane that's ranged. It's really straightforward, and it can be hard if you get behind pretty early. The best thing to do is if he does get a few early game kills on you is to sit like how I am right here, where I don't want to engage him too much because he's right in his tower. But maybe it's not the best example because I kind of went in there, but just staying back just close enough that you can be getting experience from the minion kills, but too far away for him to shoot you. That is the best way to really recuperate from being behind and playing catch up. You want to make sure that when you are behind that you are always getting experience, even if you don't want to go in there and die. Because if you are behind, it's really easy for them to get you to kill you more and get further ahead and get more fed. The last thing you want to do in this game is to feed the person that you are facing. If you are struggling, keep at the distance, keep your experience going up, and just go for those last minion hits when you can, but don't die trying to catch up. If they get a few early game kills on you, don't keep trying to face them. Just they get fed really easily, and you don't want to keep them getting fed even more. Anyways, if anyone has anything else that they suggest, feel free to add it in the comments. Like, I'm just another player. I don't know everything or even maybe the best techniques. Maybe there's something even better that you can be doing for this. But I appreciate it if you let me know in the comments what I missed or if there's anything else to do or any other notes or comments that you have. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate all the support that I get on these videos. And thank you guys again. We'll see you next time. Bye.